Hello and welcome to the Dinosaur for week 20, another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week. So let's crack on. The first one has been a very tough week in Cryptoland. It's been a very tough week for about 6 months in Cryptoland if you're into Bitcoin and Ethereum and those sorts of things. However, this week was strange. So it's all down to a stable coin, or in this case, an algorithmic stable coin called UST. Now, a stable coin, if you're not sure what one is a coin that is stable. It is always $1. So you can see UST on the left-hand side, and there's another sort of evil twin cryptocurrency called Terra or Luna that can move up and down to make sure that the thing on the left-hand side is algorithmically balanced at $1. Now, there was a platform called Anchor Trading that allowed people to get a little bit of an extra incentive if they put all their UST on there. That incentive dried up, and therefore people started to withdraw their UST in droves, and that caused the algorithm on the right hand side to not be able to keep up with the transactions that needed to go on. That caused the stable coin on the left hand side just to dip below $1, i.e. the algorithm did not work anymore. Now, if you're relying on that $1 to be there, if you're moving crypto between one thing and another, you want to maintain stability. It is now not stable, you do not trust it, so therefore you start selling, you take everything out of UST, therefore the whole thing collapses, which is what happened. So as you can see from the big red lines, the UST, which is supposed to be $1, is now trading at 20 cents, and the evil twin coin that is basically algorithm coin is almost trading at 0. Now, this caused a huge amount of a chain reaction in the industry. At one point, one day, it was actually 200 billion was knocked off the industry because of this. So if you're new to crypto, welcome to crypto. Do your own research, etc., etc. But hopefully that's a good description of the chaos that went on this week and why crypto is in a little bit of a soul-searching mood. If the stable coins aren't stable anymore, then what else is going to happen? This is a really interesting piece of research about what happens specifically to iPhones when they are turned off. Now, it's interesting for two reasons. One is I didn't really understand exactly what happened when your phone is off. A lot of stuff is still on. That's interesting thing number one. Interesting thing number two is what you can do with it if you sort of fiddled around with it a little bit. Now, the phone in front of you now is a jailbroken iPhone, which basically means you've got access to the firmware on the device and you've changed it so it's not now a sort of an official iPhone. You can start loading software onto it willy-nilly, which is what the researchers did. So they uploaded a new basically firmware, which is the sort of the core code of the iPhone, for the Bluetooth chip. Now, the Bluetooth chip allows you to access all sorts of things when your phone is off, and those things, so the NFC chip, Bluetooth, and those sorts of things, will allow you to get access to the secure stuff on your phone, such as your wallet or Find My Phone, those sorts of things. So just interesting. It's a very unlikely hack because you need to pretty much give your phone to somebody and they will take it away, reinstall the core operating system and then send it back to you. I.e. it's not really a hack, but I just thought it was really interesting to know that all this stuff goes on when your phone is off. It's not actually off. A lot of stuff is going on. There you go. Google and Facebook unveiled glasses, and I should put glasses in inverted commas. However, I shall go through them. So there was a big Google I/O event, which is their sort of big release of some developer stuff as well. On the left-hand side, you can see the Google glasses. So this is Google Glass, I guess, version 3, although they're not called that. But what's going on here is they are augmented, so you can actually, as the wearer, you can see words appearing in the lenses. Now, what they've shown as the use case for this is live translation. Something they've shown before, but with these glasses, it looks amazing. So it works. Obviously, if, for instance, you're deaf and you can't hear what people are saying around you, then all of a sudden you can hear a transcript of it. Clearly, it's not going to be as easy as this if people are talking over each other and all that sort of stuff, and context is really important. However, really, really interesting and got a big round of applause. Well done. That's great. And on the right-hand side, a slightly bizarre video from the Zook showing what's called Project Cambria, which is their new version of, or the updated, the more expensive version of, say, the Quest headsets. So starting to show what some of the abilities are. And one of the abilities is what's called pass-through. So you can see what's in front of you through the VR glasses. So the VR glasses go over your face, but they've got cameras in them that can basically take the outside world and bring them into the glasses. So you can then get what is essentially augmented reality in a VR experience. So watch out for those. Clearly they didn't want to show you what the actual glasses looked like because they were sort of pixelated in the video, which I thought was really bizarre. But the good point about them is because you can see your hands, your input devices, you can actually start writing on the real table in front of you, and that could be brought into a VR experience, etc. So that's really interesting. The input is usually a bit clumsy in VR. Might solve it. Google have also unveiled this new immersive view of maps. It won't be available until the end of the year and only in LA, London, New York, San Francisco and Tokyo. More cities coming soon. However, it does use all of their 3D mapping and LiDAR data to create these really nice immersive experiences of key places and landmarks. So it not only allows you to change things like the weather and also to look at it from different places and also different times of day, and you can then use the models to join from the outside to the inside. So really interesting. If you're looking to go and visit a city, then you could possibly use this to see what time is best to go or what the weather might look like or where not to stand to get a shadow from Big Ben. There you go, just interesting. This is possibly the future of your camera on your phone. So this is not a new invention, but it's a really interesting upgrade to the invention. So this uses a camera that does not have a lens. So a lot of the depth of your camera on your phone, for instance, is because of the lens to focus the light. So what if you can use some magic trickery to focus the light for you? I'll try and explain this because it is kind of cool, but also a little bit difficult. If you just have a light sensor, you don't really have any sense of what's falling on it. You need to focus the light. If you don't focus the light, but if you put like a grid in front of it, almost like a QR code, a transparent QR code, the way the light interacts with each one of those dots and gets either occluded or not actually encodes a little bit of what the scene was in front of it. So if you then use deep learning, which is super powerful, to decode all the different sort of interactions of the light, you can then recover the image from that fuzzy light. So as you can see at the top row, this is the original scene. You can see what falls on the camera lens, and then you can actually see the recovered image from that camera. It's not a million miles off. In fact, it's it's a little bit fuzzy, but it's great. So this is kind of the future of your mobile phone upgrade will be probably the sensor will be the same, but you'll just have a software update to give you 10 times zoom or whatever it might need to be. So kind of interesting for hardware and phones. And the thinness of your phone, you won't need to have that little camera sticking out soon. This is a really interesting article, not the most interesting slide in the world. However, if you're into or if you're interested in or curious about crypto gaming and whatever that means, this is a really good article to read. It lays out what the current problems are and some potentials to fix it. It doesn't actually say what the solution is. Now, crypto gaming is otherwise, I guess the simple version is play to earn gaming. And makes a very interesting distinction between what could be played to earn and play and earn. Because if you play to earn, it can be gamed, and also there's lots of issues with NFTs and decentralized finance getting in the way and all sorts of weird stuff. So it's a really good article. I can only implore you to go and read it, go and look it up. But I thought one of the good reasons, basically keep it fun, is always good for gaming. But if you're interested in crypto gaming and you did, or if you heard about it and not quite sure what it is, this is one of the best articles you will read. This is a curious one to end with. This is Texas. It's kind of on-off type of law, but there was a law that was, it started years ago about basically the US and social media and what gets taken from a politician can actually get taken down by the social media networks, and it can be moderated, and they weren't kind of sure who owns what. So a bunch of judges then sued social media or put together a law that says you now need to make sure that you don't take down stuff because it's against whatever amendment it is in the US. It all got really complicated. However, There was another injunction that said, no, you can't do that because you do need to basically moderate things, and that was overturned last week. So hopefully that's basically as chaotic as it has been. There are two things going on here. One is about privacy, and another one is about face recognition. There was an existing thing about face recognition as well. So basically what it says is a platform may not censor a user or a user's expression or the user's ability to receive the expression of another person based on the viewpoint of a user or another person, i.e. you can't moderate much. So this is basically to stop politicians getting taken off social media. Now this has had a slightly weird effect in that Texas and I think Illinois have Facebook have done this voluntarily. It's not part of this law, but they said, well, okay, well, there are consequences to this. So if you are in Texas or Illinois, you might notice that Instagram and Facebook now you can't use certain lenses or features of sort of augmented cameras. So they're saying, well, you can't have it both ways. So we'll see what happens with that one. But yeah, America is a bonkers place at the moment for laws. Won't go into too much detail, but generally gestures at everything right now. And yeah, coming after Facebook. If you're in Texas, you're at the epicenter. Hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully it was a little bit weird this week. If you liked it, give it a like. If you've got a comment, give it a comment, and I'll see you next week.